ascension, climbing consciousness ladder. There are conscious living currents called frequencies running our bodies. We have power of consciousness that is running our bodies. We are conscious beings. There are primal creational Kundalini currents in our bodies. Kundalini is coiled up at the base of our spine. Kundalini contains coiled energy blueprints of dimensions 1 to 9, and on activation it releases, allowing the energy frequencies to come in for DNA activation. The first 8 cells lie at the base of one's spine, all coiled up in Kundalini. Kundalini containing the spark of dimension 12 as pre-matter liquid light. In other words, this spark has the blueprint of our divine self. Pre-matter is also called hydroplasm and liquid light. So, what is liquid light? Liquid light exists within our cells as bioplasm. In order to understand this, we need to be clear of our understanding of plasma. Plasma is the fourth state of matter, right after solid, liquid, and gaseous state. Plasma is comprised of a duality of electromagnetic forces, means the forces which are opposite in nature, the positive and the negative. This supports a state of free electrons and protons, not constrained by an atomic structure. In essence, it is a source of free energy. Plasma is a source of free energy, which researchers understood is an essential raw material which life draws upon for its existence. In plasma, not bound by atomic structure, electrons which are negatively charged and the protons which are positively charged are existing freely. Soviet researchers went further into plasma research to determine that there is a form of plasma associated with the earth, and this was named as geoplasm. A form of plasma found in water is named hydroplasm, and that hydroplasm within a living organism is named bioplasm. Once consumed in water, hydroplasm becomes incorporated into the living being as bioplasm. So, to recap, plasma associated with earth is geoplasm, associated with water is hydroplasm, and associated with our cells as bioplasma. Coming back to our explanation, this bioplasma in our cells exists as liquid light. This liquid light is a living conscious light. Everything is step down frequency of God conscious energy. We have a pillar of light running vertically from top to bottom. On the top is consciousness, which is full God's expansion into source, and you can call it God consciousness as well. Within that God consciousness, there is a primal field of vibration of sound. The currents coming down from this vibrational field of sound carries within itself the frequencies of spectrum of all light and all sound. This is the first primary creational current. Coming out from this primal sound field is the light current. By the interaction of sound vibration, we can see the light is created. Then comes pre-matter, the liquid light. We have already explained above what is pre-matter liquid light, which we can also call bioplasm. Now, primal light field as spectrum of frequencies exists in dimensions 13, 14 and 15. Pre-matter liquid light, which is, we can call it bioplasm, this frequency bands exist in dimensions 12, 11 and 10. And finally, our body, in various states of matter frequency bands, exist in dimensions 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 in various densities. So we see sound and light are conscious. From light field, we move down into dimensionalized structure, which means primal light currents are broken down in different frequency bands. These frequency bands are separated from each other in order to give an appearance of frozen light and sound. Frozen light and sound as scalar standing waves is matter. Frozen means it is moving at a different rate than the creational currents from which they manifest. This gives a time matrix. God consciousness is moving down into primal field of vibration of sound, then into primal field of light current, then into pre-matter liquid light, and then into dimensionalized version of individuated consciousness manifestation. And we exist, all living things including plants and animals and the material form, we exist as matter in dimensional density frequencies. When we see from where our individuated consciousness is arriving from, it becomes clear and we connect easily to God consciousness. As you can see through the picture being shown as climbing consciousness ladder. We basically live in 15-dimensional time matrix. Dimensions 13, 14 and 15 represent light fields. Then there are 3 levels of pre-matter liquid light frequencies in dimension 10, 11 and 12. Liquid light because it can be seen as pale silver. A part of our consciousness we can see always stays in sound. A part of our consciousness keeps connected to the primal field of light current, and of course always God consciousness we are always connected to. And then we are always connected to pre-matter liquid light from before form differentiation takes place. Up till pre-matter liquid light, there is no form differentiation. After liquid light, form differentiation takes place in dimensions 9, stepping down to dimension 1, as liquid light breaks itself into smaller light and sound frequencies, which are creational currents. We all exist in dimension 1, 2, 3 as our physical body, and in dimension 4, 5, 6 we reside as our soul body, and in dimensions 7, 8, 9 we exist as oversoul. We are always connected to inaudible sound currents, from where this individuated form has taken place. Dimensions 1 to 9 are called Antakarna, which is a Sanskrit word. This Antakarna is basically a pillar of frequency. We came down this pillar of light from the source consciousness first to the field of vibration of sound, from sound to light, from light to prematter, and then to matter. In ascension, same way as we came down, we can also climb back. We live in 15-dimensional time matrix broken down into 5 harmonic universes of 3 dimensions each. And then there is a density level attached to each harmonic universe. So if there are 5 harmonic universes, then we have 5 density levels, going down from lighter to denser. We are in density 1 of harmonic universe 1, which consists of 3 dimensions 1, 2, 3. This is the most solid a matter can get. A body that has recognition of 12 levels of consciousness has the ability to transmute its cellular structure. It does not get sick or die, and it can ascend. When consciousness comes down, it passes through a series of stargates in each dimensional field. Ascension is basically evolution, and moving through different stargates under each density. So what happens when we wake up? On waking up, we become conscious of what is happening within and without. The frequencies from higher dimensions start to come in, and we start using our mind in certain ways to direct these energies. Our bodies are not used to these energies, so there are definitely changes in our body. Certain strange sensations begin to take place. A part of our DNA gets activated, and we start to remember more. We begin to realize we are eternal beings, and fears start to disappear. We realize we are much more than just physical, such as that we start saying, I am an emotional being, I am a thought form, or I am a thought pattern, and I exist beyond this physical form. Our DNA holds the key to bring in other parts of our consciousness in our body. As more and more of DNA activates, we realize our connection to Mother Earth, our planet, and when we heal, the planet also heals. In our cells, we have memories. On activation, these memories get activated, and we start feeling a living presence inside us. We also realize that if we do not feel comfortable with something, then there is always something new we can create. We realize our potential as master creators. We realize thoughts as templates direct the conscious energy to manifest. So we can use thoughts as filters in creating what we want. We activate higher sound and light. We also realize there is a biophysical process involved in acquiring our higher identities. That requires how we direct our mind and what information we download, what we put out as action, and what efforts we put out on a consistent basis, all leading to DNA activation, DNA rebuilding, and DNA reassembling so that we can climb up the consciousness ladder. DNA template is our light and sound blueprint that our physical DNA and body is built on. Anyone having 12 strands of DNA has the potential to experience the 12 dimensions of consciousness. If we choose to activate and rebuild DNA and pull in the frequencies in our physical embodied form. When we pull in the higher frequencies gradually in our physical embodied form, we evolve higher. We undergo a process of ascension. And the same way we came down, we can climb up the consciousness ladder and realize our divine connection with God consciousness. Thanks for listening. Love and light to all of you.